64-bit legends. Welcome.
Legend of the game like GoldenEye, I'm more than right. In the perfect dark is dreams that seem to come to light. 64-bit, the shit, it's as real as it gets. We can talk sports, games, and music, take your pick. Point with the news, pull up and crack a brew. Smoke one with the crew, tune in and take a view. We here to raise the bar from the lowest mark. Sit your ass down and listen, it's time for the show to start.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, class of 2023, welcome to another episode of the 64-Bit Legends. I am Bobby, the best in the business caboose. As always, looking for that hot tag is Melvin Troy.
Tagging in. I am ready to go.
You're about to whoop some ass.
This moment forever. Yes, I'm ready to do it.
We're coming off a great episode where we dissected Joe Pesci's singing album, his second of three.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah. Actually, did we talk? I don't know if we talked about it on the podcast or it was afterwards, but he released an album.
Not too recently. Or recently.
Yeah, recently.
Yeah.
Did we mention?
I don't know. It was maybe at the very end, but he released one in like 2019 or so, and one in like the 70s, right? So we picked one right in the middle with Wise Guy on there and the ballad to a 16-year-old.
Yes. He was. It was a fun little thing, and his most recent release was more straightforward.
Yeah,
pretty nice.
This one was he kind of took the My Cousin Vinny gimmick.
Yep.
And ran with it. We explained that he grew up with Frankie Valli in the Four Seasons.
Yep.
So he became,
Yeah, I mean,
do
listen.
some comedy album, kind of.
Just go back and listen to the episode, and you're going to learn so much.
So much. About us, about Joe Pesci,
yes.
about Vincent LaGuardia Gambini.
Yep.
Because he sings for you.
He does.
And speaking of movies, he based that off of his character from My Cousin Vinny.
Right.
I was watching a movie that I grew up on. Me and Moose used to watch it all the time. Fucking A League of Their Own, right?
Okay.
Chicks baseball, right?
Yeah.
So
there's no crying in
There's
baseball.
no crying in baseball. Everyone knows that line.
Mm-hmm.
But, sometimes, especially when you like take an edible or something, you kind of analyze movies and if it were real life.
Yeah.
I know that's based on real things that happen, but like I believe all the characters are fictitious. So I text this to one of my friends after, who enjoys the movie as well, and I said, and I don't know how well you know the movie, but it's based off of Dottie Henson, who's Gina Davis, and her sister Kit, right?
Right.
Well, Kit ends up getting traded at the end to another team that they end up playing in the World Series, right?
Which one was Kit? Was Kit?
Kit was the younger sister. She was the pitcher. She had like the Karen haircut. She was the one that threw the baseball through the window. She was the one that the scout didn't want at the beginning, but she was like, if your sister comes, you can come too.
Gotcha.
I don't know the actress's name. It's not Madonna. It's not Rosie O'Donnell. It's the other girl that they focus on the most.
Sure.
So, but as a betting man, I was thinking about this, right? So, Game 7 of the World Series is in Racine. Racine's the other team. Rockford is the team that Kit got traded from to Racine.
Okay.
So, Racine is the home team for Game 7. That means that they had a better record during the regular season. They should probably be the favorite to win this game, right?
Sure.
After analyzing this entire World Series, and I know you're not a sports guy, but Rockford should have never had a chance in this World Series. Mm-hmm. It was crazy to think that they even made it to a Game 7. I know it's a movie, but if it were real. Because Dottie, arguably the best player in the league, she didn't play the first 6 games of this series. So Rockford was down one of their best players right off the bat because her husband came back because he got shot in the foot in the war.
Oh, that's
right.
Yeah.
He says a sniper got 7 of them, and he survived. He got lucky. But anyway, so she leaves and she's like, "Peace. I don't need baseball anymore. I'm out." And it's during the World Series. First of all, who the fuck would do that? Second of all, you're getting rid of your best player for 6 of the games of the World Series, and she comes back for Game 7. Second point that Rockford should never be in this fucking thing is They arguably lost their best pitcher in Kit when they traded her because Kit, she was the starting pitcher opening day, so that means she's probably at the top of the rotation. I know this is way over your head, so I'm just going with this. And, so you get rid of your best hitter, your best pitcher, and again, how do you survive winning at least 3 games in this series against the best team in the league?
Right.
Third point, Marla Hooch. What a hitter. What a league. She's the really ugly chick that they show 50 feet away because she's hideous, but she can hit.
Is that Rosie O'Donnell?
No.
Oh.
Rosie O'Donnell is Doris.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry.
Marla Hooch is...
she looks like a hooch. I'm sorry. She just has a hooch-like quality.
Marla Hooch is the chick that, when the scout goes and gets Dottie and Kit, their next stop is to go see this girl in Colorado, and she's hitting the shit out of the ball, but the guy doesn't want to take her because she's fucking hideous.
Okay.
But they, Kit and Dottie are like, we're not going if you don't take her, blah, 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 girl power.
Yeah.
Girl power 50 years before the Spice Girls. Anyway, so Marla ends up getting married to Nelson, who she's singing to at the bar.
Okay.
I'm singing to Nelson, ain't I, baby? Sure are. Just quoting the movie, right? Yeah.
Okay.
So she leaves because she's going on her honeymoon. She leaves the team. She's like, I'll be back next season. Marla Hooch was arguably their best hitter. Dottie's their best player. Kit's probably their best pitcher. Marla's their best hitter.
Okay.
Bam. So they're down 3 people now, right? In this World Series against the best team. So then, before the World Series starts, Betty Spaghetti, we all love Betty Spaghetti, right? She makes spaghetti for the team. There's a reason why they call her that, right?
Sure.
Her husband gets killed over in the war, and the guy from the War Department comes, so she doesn't play in the World Series. So now you're down 4 of your fucking starters for most of this series that should have never went to a Game 7. It was remarkable that Rockford was able to pull off 3 games and force a Game 7 where Dottie comes back and still loses to Kit. But the point is, Rockford is major underdogs made a series out of something that should have been a 4-game sweep.
I mean, there's something to that, but it really just goes to show they have all these starters that ended up having to back out for whatever reasons, and the team was still able to push on. If I was the owner of the team, I'd be like, why the fuck am I paying them to be here? I don't even need them. Yeah, they got us. They scored it for us at the end.
But they still lost.
And they still lost. They brought back all the best people, technically, and then they...
Well, they only brought one back.
Oh, okay.
They brought Dottie back.
Yeah.
They still were down Kit because she was on the other team.
Yeah.
They were down Marla because she had to go fuck Nelson. And the bitch's husband died.
Yeah.
So, I forget his name, but...
I guess.
Anyway, but then I really like that movie. It's corny as fuck, but it's ridiculous. That's why I like it. And Tom Hanks plays a great character. Okay. But at the end, so they're at the very beginning, they're very old. They're telling the story,
Yeah.
And at the end, they get the league gets inducted to the Baseball Hall of Fame.
Sure.
So they're there for that, and Dottie and Kit see each other, right? And they get all emotional, and they're like, oh my God, blah, blah, blah. And they're fucking 80 years old.
Yeah.
They act like they haven't seen each other since that game. I'm like, just because one of you got traded doesn't mean you're not still sisters. You're just playing a game. It's not like you're going to be like, oh man, I got traded, so I'm not going to see you for 50 years. Fuck you. No, you're probably going to see each other on Christmas, and life's going to go on because Dottie only played 1 year and she doesn't care anymore.
Yeah.
But they act like it's oh my God, I haven't seen you in 50 years. Hug me.
See, this is the problem. So you're taking a realistic approach to it, which I respect it because you're looking at the facts. I look at it, and this is why I dislike the movie for the same reason, because it's it's just ladies baseball. Nobody watched it. Nobody cared.
Hey, if you
why are they making such a big deal out of this?
So if you watch the movie, they didn't care at the beginning, but then they grew to care.
Yeah.
So that's, the fans show up. They have a league. Fucking Lowenstein keeps the league going after Mr. Harvey and his Harvey bars wants to shut him down. And he keeps it going for like 3 more years.
I just nobody can. Where are they now? They're all dead and everyone forgot about them. Fuck them. Fuck that league. Nobody gave a shit. That's my problem. Is that's what I get mad about. Is why am I watching this movie? You're over dramatizing a story that no one cares about.
No, everyone cares about. No, everyone.
There was, I think we talked. Maybe I brought this up somewhere else, but there was a clip I seen on TikTok. It was Bradley Cooper in the scene. It was Bradley Cooper and what's that other girl? She was Hunger Games girl. What's her name?
Oh, Jennifer Lawrence.
Jennifer Lawrence. So it was some movie that they were in I've never seen before where she's trying to sell a mop, like the idea of this new type of mop.
Yeah.
And Bradley Cooper's the executive at this company that's basically going to want to buy the patent. And he's like, why would we want to do that? And she's like, oh, it's this great mop. And I go and what is this movie? I look it up. It's a story of a woman who invents a mop. I'm like, what? Are we that desperate for stories?
That could
we
be
gotta
interesting,
fucking
man.
make a movie about a woman who invents a mop. Who gives a shit? And but then I was like, this isn't new. Because A League of Their Own was 88, 89 when that came out? 90?
92.
92?
92,
Okay.
and it was based on, what happened during World War II.
Yeah, it's this is such a nothing story. We don't have any other better stories than this.
It's an amazing, and it's a okay, I know Dunstan checks in, it's a star-studded cast.
Oh, God.
But fucking A League of Their Own is a star-studded cast. Gina Davis, Tom Hanks, Madonna, Rosie O'Donnell, the blonde girl, Betty Spaghetti.
I don't know who these people are.
Kit. I don't think all those people. I don't think made another movie.
Yeah.
But it was a star-studded cast with the top 4.
This was the dumbest film ever. I hate. Well, first of all, I don't like sports movies. Sports movies to me, I'm trying to think of any sports movies that I liked.
Rookie of the Year.
No, didn't
Little
like
Giants.
it. Nope, hated it.
Mighty Ducks.
Nope, hated it.
Mighty Ducks 2.
No, hated that one.
Mighty
even
Ducks
more.
3.
Even more. Hated
Sandlot. Sandlot's good.
it. Did not like
What?
it. Thought it was stupid. I don't like the
Moneyball.
sport. Some of the scenes intrigued me, but overall I was like, meh.
White Man Can't Jump.
Hated it.
What?
I hated it when I seen it originally when it came out, and I hated it when I seen it on TV a year ago. I don't
White Man
like
Can't Jump is great. The new one I won't watch.
No, I have no interest in that because I didn't like the original. I'm not a sports
How do
movie
you not
guy.
like White Man Can't Jump?
I'll tell you this.
I know 7 foods that start with the letter Q, Billy. 7.
The only sports movie that I'll accept, and I don't
Space
go out
Jam.
of my way. No, I won't go out of my way to watch it. But if it's on, I'll watch it. And I did go see it. I guess it's more of like a bonding thing I've seen with my dad. The Rocky movies. We've watched
Those
all
are
the
the
Rocky
worst
movies.
out of the fucking sports movies.
I've even watched the Creed movies with him, and it's okay. It's not great. I think Sylvester Stallone is really what makes that film. Because otherwise, if anyone else was doing that movie, I'd be like, "Fuck off." But those ones, I'll watch those. That's the only that I can think of. There's got to be, because I was just talking to someone about this with high school movies.
High school movies are great too.
No, there's
Yes.
2. There's only 2 that I
American
like.
Pie and American Pie 2.
Nope.
Mean Girls.
Nope.
Clueless.
Nope.
These are all fucking great movies.
Hated all of them.
They're all great movies.
No.
Not Another Teen Movie, which stars
that
B.
that was making fun of him. That one's okay, but I don't count that.
Dazed and Confused.
That's one that I accept. That's one of the 2. That one I like. That's
Superbad.
That's the other one. That's it. Just those 2.
Dude, every single one I named was great.
No,
Yes.
high school movies. I hate high school
Especially
movies.
rated R high school movies are fucking awesome.
No.
Mean Girls is fucking great.
Nope.
Clueless is fucking
Nope.
great.
Nope.
Paul Rudd, young Paul Rudd, a young B.
I will say that Mean Girls almost is acceptable, but at the end of the day, I don't like it.
Mean Girls is awesome.
I don't like it.
We only wear pink on Wednesdays.
Dazed and Confused and Superbad, because I feel that was the most realistic portrayal of what like high school was like, where it wasn't like there wasn't like these a lot of those movies. It's always like very stereotypical of like this guy's a nerd, that guy's a jock, this guy's kind of awkward. And it's like I just hated it. Like this, I know people fell in love with the Stifler character. I hated the Stifler character. It was so dumb and retarded. I hated everything about it. But Dazed and Confused, very genuine because you get this feeling of the people we were there where you're hanging out with people that are maybe a little older than you, or maybe you're hanging out with someone that's like a grade younger than you, and there's like a blend of like how like the social circles were not cut and dry.
Yeah.
It was a lot of overlap. Dazed and Confused did a great job of really just taking a day and breaking it down of what it's like at the end of the school year. Because it was realistic to things that we've done.
So I
Same thing with Superbad.
I think the reason why you picked those two, right, is because both of them are at the end of the school year. If you remember, because like Superbad, they're seniors as well.
Yep.
And if you actually, well, yeah, I guess Dazed and Confused is the last day of school, but they're not graduating. They're going to become seniors.
Yeah, they're either going to become seniors
or become freshmen.
Yeah.
So it's like the next class. Superbad, they're graduating, but I think the reason why you like it is because it is towards the end of the year. And if you remember, when we were seniors, I believe the last day of school, and I don't know if you went as well, but we went to Stony Creek.
Yes.
And it was everyone.
Yes.
Like it was the whole senior class, and like it seemed like immediately all the drama dropped.
Yes.
And like it was like, what the fuck? Like, why did we hate these? Why did I hate this person for the last 4 years?
Right.
And shit like that. And everyone just kind of fucking chilled. I think we probably drank.
Yeah.
And like shit like that. And then we went to a fucking Eddie Money concert. A bunch of us. I don't know if you went to that too.
No, I didn't do that. I was in the woods with some people that had already graduated the year before or two, and then a couple other people in our group, and then they got shit-faced, and then they branded each other.
I remember that.
And then me and Colin were like, yeah, we're not doing that.
Yeah,
that's stupid.
dumb. So
I'm not retarded. I'm not fucking taking a hot poker and fucking branding myself.
But yeah, I think that's the reason, because like, yeah, the other movies, they're still in school, so there is that separation, because there was a separation. I mean, there's always a separation.
I would
in
say
school with groups and shit.
At the end of the year, generally, a lot of the bullshit would wash away even before senior year, but then senior year in particular, when it was done,
yeah,
we're like, okay, we can really drop a lot of them.
Right.
Like, we're all done now. But yeah, I think it did a great job of capturing that moment, where I feel like a lot of the other ones, like American Pie, it's just not real. None of it's realistic. Like, I understand a lot of shit happens in these movies, like even Superbad, where like, you know, McLovin's hanging out with cops and all that.
Yeah.
That's not going to happen. But it was believable. American Pie just wasn't believable.
American Pie was the most believable.
No, it was not. It was the worst. Oh, I hate it. And I hated the group that they were in.
I just like I don't like the Finch character.
Which one's Finn?
He's the one that fucked Stifler's mom.
Oh yeah, that's right.
I don't like him.
I don't like him at all. No, hated him.
Actually, I don't. Now that I break it down, I like the movie, but I don't like most of the characters.
That's what I mean.
Because like
they all suck.
Like the jock. Okay, if you're that good at sports, like I was a sports guy, like not that I was fucking great, but I would never think twice of like going into the choir, even if I fucking like the chick. Like, you're gonna skip out on like the most important game of your life to go fucking sing for some chick that you might date for a month.
Yeah,
like, get the fuck out of here.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, I forgot about him, because he was all very sensitive.
Yeah,
and then there was the Stifler character, which like.
AKA Casey.
Yeah, but the thing is like here's probably the reason I hated that character is I didn't see those movies when they first came out because I had no interest.
Right.
And then later on, I watched it, but by then there was people that like wanted to be like Stifler.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh no, this is
like I could name one person in particular that was in our group.
Yeah, it just was too much, and it kind of ruined it. I was like, I don't even like the character as a whole, but now that I know that, like,
yeah, we used to say if you poured out a beer, you would be doing this person's deed.
Yeah. So like, there was, and honestly, he wasn't the only one. Like, there's multiple people that like tried to become that guy.
Right.
Like,
No, I think too. I think a lot of these movies, especially with like the sports movies and even that, like I think it's the timing on when you've seen them. If you grew up with them, it's fine. Because like there's movies that I haven't seen that like people are like, oh man, I can't believe you haven't seen, you know, Major League all the way through. And like when I go to watch it, like I didn't grow up on it, so I'm like, this isn't like, it was so overhyped that I'm just like, okay, well I can do without.
right. Yeah, I mean that's kind of. And then the other thing is too is like when those movies were popular, and this is my issue with why I'm picky about these movies. It's why I don't like, because I don't like sports movies. They gotta be. They just seem to be sports movies, high school movies, romantic comedies. They're just cheesy. They seem cheap to me. And I was a bit of a movie snob because I was like a mega renter at Blockbuster. Like I would go to Blockbuster and I'd rent like 5-6 movies for the week.
Yeah.
And I would go through and I'd be like, all right, which ones can I watch? What's like the biggest list of like the top movies ever? What's the most controversial movies ever? What's this? And I wanted to like expand
Your horizons.
my horizons. And a lot of the good movies I liked were the ones that were just more of like, I like a good adult drama. That's what I like. I like a good adult drama.
You need a nice feel-good sports movie.
No movie fell in that. If you go to the list of like best movies of all time, you're not gonna get any sports movie.
Yeah, because most of those movies fucking suck because it's like La La Land.
Well, okay. You gotta up until this point. This is like pre-2010. Okay, that's whenever like 2010 things kind of took a turn after that. But it was like. Yeah, you go look at like the best movies ever, and it's like it's something that makes you feel something. You have something with good characters that you can get behind. You know, I'll tell you this. I'll tell you what my favorite sports movie is, outside of like Rocky, which is more of a sentimental thing. Basketball. That's the only sports movie that I will watch, and I'd be like, "You put that on," I'm there. Basketball. That's it. That's the only one.
Did you ever see? I think it's called Celtic Pride.
I've heard of it.
With Damon Wayans, I think, and
I think it's
Dan Aykroyd, maybe?
No, I think Danny DeVito's in it or something like that.
Well, they kidnap...
oh, no, it is Dan Aykroyd. You're right.
Yeah, they kidnap like the opposing team's best player.
Yeah, I remember something about this. Yeah,
it's not a good movie, but it's ridiculous.
Yeah, I've never seen it, but I would say, yeah, that's basketball is the only acceptable sports film. It's a good film.
No, it isn't.
It's a guy.
No, it isn't.
South Park.
I know it's not a good film.
Which, by the way, I found out they were only hired to act in that. They didn't
write it.
They didn't actually write it. Now, what they did do is they like fixed it up.
Yeah.
I guess they were. I seen some interview where they basically were like, yeah, no, we were just hired as actors, and they didn't think South Park was going to last. So they're like, yeah, we just got to do everything. Like, we got to make our money now because who knows what's going to end up happening. And so they're like,
20 years later,
we'll do this movie. And then they were like, yeah, this kind of sucks. So why don't we just fix it up a little bit? And
that movie sucks.
I thought it was good. If you've ever watched any of their movies outside of South Park, it's actually... You wouldn't notice the difference really that they didn't actually write that. Like, because I've seen the other ones like Orgasmo. You ever seen that one?
No.
That was like pre-South Park. It was like right before they did South Park. And then there's one before that called Cannibal the Musical and Team America. Like, it's a very like...
Fuck yeah.
Yeah, like you can tell... It's all like the same tone and everything, and I think it works really well. I wish they'd do another like movie or something.
Yeah, I wonder if they will after South Park might be done.
I don't think they're going to be done with it though.
Well, like eventually, it's got to end sometime.
Well,
right?
True, yeah. I mean, when they
not
get
gonna be
too
The
old.
Simpsons.
I heard that they might be doing another South Park movie. I heard that might be a thing, which I don't know.
Like an actual movie, or like
Yeah.
one of like the 3-part episode type things.
Well, yeah. So they apparently. Yeah, I know they do that a lot. I think it was Imagination Land was supposed to be a second movie.
Yeah.
And then they just were like, yeah, fuck it, just put it out on TV.
Right.
Like why we put like what's the difference?
Right.
But I heard that there was a possibility that they would do like another full movie. But honestly, I played the video games. Dude, the video games are like a whole season times 2. Like if you watch that whole thing, there's a lot in those games. That's if you take all the little cutscenes and all the stories. But anyway, I would watch something from them if they look. I think what they need to do. I
feel like this is gonna go somewhere.
Is
like if you've seen Melvin Troy's fucking gesture on building up to this story that he's about to tell. He fixed his mic. He got square in his chair. He's sitting up right now, and he's taking a swig of his LaCroix, and he's getting ready to go fucking off the fucking wall.
No, now you're overhyping it, but. I was just thinking, like, would it be great?
And you get this little, like, okay, you're hearing a movie voice. All right, I got to pitch you this idea.
So, if they did, if the South Park people did, or I would love it if they did it, or maybe even another great director that I respect, maybe like a Martin Scorsese or David Fincher. I like the David Fincher film. He did, like, Fight Club and Seven and stuff like that. If they did, I would love to see their take on like a high school movie or a sports movie. Well, I mean, the South Park guys already know. We've seen basketball. It's great. If they wrote one, it would be even better. I would love to see one that they actually wrote. But that would be great. Think of like Scorsese doing a high school teen movie, like a black comedy.
Yeah.
Because he could do comedies. He did like Wolf of Wall Street.
Yeah.
He did King of Comedy, and there was a couple others he did. But it's got like that edge. Like think of like Wolf of Wall, probably more of the tone of like Wolf of Wall Street. But like think of that, but it's from like the perspective of like a high school student about to graduate.
Well,
like that. How great would that be?
The closest thing would probably be what, Project X?
I don't think I've ever seen that one.
So that was based on the kids that like. It's based on a true event. Like kids put like a Craigslist party out.
Oh, I heard about this.
Yeah, and they like fucking like thousands of people showed up.
Yeah.
And they ended up fucking like destroying their house.
Okay, was this the one where like you're watching it as if like one of the friends is filming it?
Yes.
See, okay, so that's interesting. I've seen parts of that. Didn't like it. I was just turned off by the fact that there was too much. It was too much obvious. Like the characters were just not quite believable. They were a little too extra for me.
Well,
and I didn't like the whole thing of like coincidentally this guy's filming everything perfectly to catch every crazy thing. Like I mean.
It's a fucking movie. You're not going to show the crazy stuff. You're going to be like, oh man, you should have seen that fucking giraffe get beheaded in the backyard. And they're not going to show it.
But that's my problem with the found footage type movies like Cloverfield and stuff. Like it's too. You got to get all the good shots in there to make it interesting. But it's supposed to be an amateur filming this. Like it's so that's why I'm saying like if they did like Scorsese. Okay, think of this. Think of this
I'm
like Scorsese. It's a story. The kid's like telling us, and he narrates.
Yeah.
It's like his first day of school. He does like how Scorsese does like those quick shots.
Yeah.
He does like the montages, or he does like multiple scenes at a time, all like split screen and shit. So and it's a kid. So the story would have to be something like he's telling a story about from the narrator's point of view. Think like Casino.
Yeah.
If they did it like a Casino where they had like two narrators, that'd be dope.
Yeah.
Where it was like two different like.
Dude, that would be awesome if it was just Joe Pesci's voice, and you're like, wait a second, that kid grows up to be Joe Pesci.
That would be
kind of
cool.
like how I Met Your Mother or whatever.
Yeah.
Like the guy's grown, yet Bob Saget narrates it for some reason.
Yeah. That would be great. That would be pretty good. But yeah, basically like. It was something. It would take place. It would have to be like the 90s.
Yeah.
Okay, because that would be retro now. So it'd take place in the 90s, and then this one kid is like kind of like not a loser, but he just didn't really fit it. Like he's friends with people, but he's not like really cool. He just kind of like floats around in the
like
different
a
groups. Not Phyllis, no, that's not a Phyllis.
Like a Honnold?
Not even that. I wouldn't even say a little cooler than a Honnold. I would just say, I don't know.
Honnold was the
A
coolest.
Stempowski, maybe? I don't know.
Okay, he is way less cool than Honnold.
Dude, that guy was the best.
Okay.
He was fucking
The
sweet.
stump.
Yeah, he was dope as hell.
No one knows who we're talking about.
So it would be like someone like that, but then the other narrator is like this like really cool dude, not a jock. I don't want no stereotypical shit. Just like a cool dude. People seem to like hanging out with him, but maybe he doesn't like hanging out with everyone else. And
Like a James Franco in Freaks and Geeks.
kind of, yeah, kind of like that.
He's a burnout.
And so they both narrate it, and maybe it's. I don't want to just do planning a party, trying to get laid story. That's over and done with. It's got to be something deeper. If it's going to be Scorsese, it's got to be something on a deeper.
Like they're trying to buy weed.
Maybe there's got to be like multiple things.
I
It's
remember
gotta be-
I remember people would be like when we were in high school, man, I'm gonna take this trip down to Detroit to get some weed.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Yeah. Maybe you know what it is? Perfect. Let's do the stereotype last day of school type thing. But it's like perspective of these two different people and then how they intersect, and then the shit gets a little crazy. Because maybe they go to like a Detroit or something. Shit gets a little crazy, but then they gotta get back to the suburbs type of thing. And then you can just interject all these extra characters in there. And I think if you have a great soundtrack, because it's Scorsese, it would be just like...
And it's the 90s.
And it's the 90s.
You have some fucking wallflower on.
Yeah, and it would... dude, and he's got like the quick shots, and he would do like, and it would just be like a lot of narration. Or we go the other way. We go like David Fincher.
Animated.
No, David Fincher doesn't do animation.
No, I just...
Oh.
The other way. Yeah.
No, I don't want this to be a Disney movie.
No, man.
This
It
got to
could
be rated
like,
R. It's
Yeah,
gotta
no,
be
it
rated
could
R.
be like fucking South Park, but animated.
So...
And, it is South Park is animated, but you know what I mean.
So we go David Fincher, where it's very like cold lighting and very like very very you've probably seen his movies like Zodiac.
No.
Or have you seen Panic Room?
No.
Have you seen Seven?
Yes.
Okay, what about the girl with the dragon tattoo?
I have not.
That's a good one. You should see that.
Have you seen the dragon with the girl tattoo?
No, I've not.
Okay.
What about what's his other one he did? He did one recently. Benjamin Button.
No. I have not seen that. Anyway, just keep going.
I'm trying to find a good one.
Just keep going.
What about
Anyway.
Social Network.
Social Network.
It'd be perfect. So he did the Social Network. So this would be the type of tone.
We're including Timberlake off the bat.
Timberlake would be College Kid.
Yes.
Okay? So
I'm in right now.
It's got to fit the format. Last day of school story.
Okay. College Kid or high school?
Well, no. The main character, Timberlake's not the main character.
Okay.
So he's just going to be like a side character.
Okay.
So it's last day of high school story.
Perfect.
But
I'm in.
With the vibe of Social Network.
Okay.
Very good dialogue.
Yes.
Right? But the very like visually pretty good.
Starring Michael Cera.
Trent Reznor is going to do the soundtrack, so it's going to be kind of crazy. It's going to be wild. It's going to be intense.
Okay.
But it's a black comedy about last day of high school.
All right.
But this time, it's like there's like some realism in there, and like Timberlake's going to be like a college kid who's probably like he's the one.
He's the one buying the beer for the party.
Yes.
Like he's an older brother.
Yes, but he's like running because they all think he's cool, right?
Yeah.
But in reality, then they learn to find out. They always thought he was the coolest.
It's fucking Dustin.
Yes. That's what I'm so let's for the people who don't know what that means. You think he's the coolest.
Yes.
Then you realize like, oh man, your shit's fucked up. Like you're not really you're hanging out with a bunch of high schoolers still. So
and
you're not that cool.
Like you're charging like 300% for a 6-pack of beer.
Yeah. And so but they all think he's cool, and he's always like he's talking about scams that he's running, but it's like and they all think it's sweet, but then slowly the main character is gonna be like an everyman. Like he's not quite a Michael Cera. I think Michael Cera's too soft.
Yeah.
And that's gonna be too much close to like an Eisenberg. We already did that with Zuckerberg.
Like someone between like a Sarah and an Efron. Someone in between.
Efron's too.
He's
yeah,
too pretty.
Yeah. So
So-
I'm trying to think who's and they got to be like younger-ish.
Yeah.
Who's hot right now? That's like that would really push that. What are all the
Nick Cage. Nick Cage.
yeah
Not the Death Fighter. Not Nick Gage, but Nick Cage.
yeah Nicolas Cage? Perfect. He's a great high schooler. Girls love him.
All girls are into that Nick Cage.
They'll do like that little facelift stuff they did
Exactly.
in The Irishman. That's
But his body's still old as fuck.
he's taller than everybody. Like
Everyone else looks like a
Yeah.
5th grader.
yeah, I don't see too many movies in him. Oh, maybe it's like I don't know. No, I was gonna say the Twilight guy, but he's Batman now. He's too cool.
Yeah, he's too
Can't-
cool
You
for that.
can't go back to that. Oh man, who's hip right now? Dave Franco, maybe? You think
Dave
Franco?
Franco? Dave Franco could do
I,
it.
I don't know what current Dave Franco looks like.
No,
he
neither
might
do
be
I.
a little too old
Yeah,
now,
he
but
might be.
the Dave Franco in my mind.
Or like a Malcolm in the Middle, Frankie Muniz.
He's way
still,
too old.
He's still got a young face.
have you seen him recently?
Yeah, he's a
aged.
NASCAR driver.
He's way too old
Okay.
to be a high school kid.
Dude,
He's way too old to be a high school
Zach
kid.
Morris was like 40. He was like,
Now, not back in the day. No, we need someone. Maybe you know what? I don't know.
I could do it.
I don't think so.
I could shave my face.
I don't think that would be it. We got to get someone cool for this thing.
I'm cool.
Yeah, but like movie star cool.
Movie.
Like somebody. Oh, maybe. Who's
Your boy Pete Davidson.
You know, they would probably, and I would hate. Honestly,
You're like, look, you're like,
honestly,
he's gonna play. He's like, you're like, I'm done with this movie. He's gonna play it. I'm done. I'm not explaining
he's
anymore.
kind of got to be the guy. No, Pete Davidson wouldn't be the main guy because he's got to be a relatable character. Pete Davidson would definitely be in the movie. He'd be some other character.
He would be Timberlake's boy.
Yeah, he
Like,
would be
he'd
part
be-
of Timberlake's crew of like
Yep.
these losers, but all the high school kids think he's dope, and they're all trying to put together. They're trying to like just find some parties to go to and be cool. Like, okay, perfect. Here's the story. I don't know who's gonna play the fucking guy. Maybe you just get a new kid that just like
New Kid on the Block.
yeah, like he's just
This movie's gonna take his career off.
I don't know. Yeah,
Franklin Saint.
yeah, somebody, just some fucking random like young kid, maybe from like that show Euphoria or something from on HBO. I don't know, but you get like an every guy type of character. And here's the story. Okay, this is a David Fincher film, by the way. So a lot, like I said, think Social Network vibe,
Yes.
but black comedy.
Can we get the
about-
Winklevoss twins?
Well, they're in college.
They're not in college anymore.
That'd be, how would that fit in? It's
I don't
high
know.
school.
They could be like a dad and an uncle. I don't know. We could throw them in there somewhere.
That
Winklevoss.
wasn't even the Winklevoss. That was like one guy. They duplicated him in the movie. You didn't know that?
Well, we can duplicate them again.
they use like technology.
we can duplicate them again. So there's 4 of them.
But now this is a Winklevoss movie. This has nothing to do with the fucking. We're way off
They're
track.
stealing our ideas.
they
We need someone to steal the idea.
don't need to be in this movie.
God damn it!
So it would be. It's okay. Listen to this. So here's the story. Okay, the story is it's
We're
gonna
gonna
be.
call it Social Network 2, and it's gonna be the same fucking thing.
It's gonna be. It's.
Get
last-
Jesse Eisenberg.
No, that's just Social Network. We're not doing Social Network. We're doing different.
Get
films.
that Indian guy.
I don't even know who that is.
Neither do I.
I
We
don't-
can get him.
Who's the Indian guy?
I don't know. We'll call it. We'll call it the Facebook 2.
I don't even know who the Indian guy is.
Neither do I. But he's Indian and he's available.
Who was in it?
I don't know.
I don't even
It was an
remember
Indian
him.
guy.
In the Social Network?
Yeah, he was like the. Remember, he got like cut out after Timberlake came in because he was like he like provided the finance first. He was Zuckerberg's friend.
That guy's not Indian. That guy, Andrew Garfield? He played Spider-Man. He was one of the Spider-Mans.
He's Indian.
No, he's
The,
not.
the kid in the I don't know if it's the same guy, but the guy in the Social Network was Indian.
No, he's not.
Yeah, he is.
Maybe in real life, not in the movie.
He was definitely Indian.
What? You're talking about this guy?
Yeah.
I didn't even show it to you. Hold on.
Yeah, that's the guy I'm talking about.
This guy?
Yeah, he was Indian.
He's not Indian. He's not Indian at all.
He definitely looks Indian in the movie.
No, he doesn't.
Yeah, he does.
No,
He definitely looks Indian in the movie.
he's from the United Kingdom.
Do you mean Indians can't be there from there?
I mean, they can, but it's not like. By the way, guess how old that dude is?
44.
You're actually not far off. He's 39. He's older than us.
Yeah.
I would have never have guessed. I thought he was younger.
Yeah, because he's Indian and Indians don't age.
He's not Indian.
He's Indian.
He's a white dude. I don't.
He's Indian.
Anyway, we're
All
way
right.
off. So this is the story.
Okay.
Okay.
Let's get back.
It's okay. So you have
David Fincher.
You have two. So you have a gang of these kids. They all graduated. They're all seniors. It's their last day of high school.
Okay.
It's a David Fincher film. Think about this. Trent Reznor soundtrack. Okay.
Yes.
Very just very electronic, analog, very high frequency. Got a really weird vibe to it. And then, it's these kids, and then there's two in particular, and they want to fit in, but they don't want to they feel that they're more rebellious.
And they have an idea for this fucking platform on the internet.
Has nothing to do with the internet. There's nothing to do with the internet.
I thought you were going social
No,
network too.
no. So they
I get approached by two twins.
no. So they're like, hey, let's go party, and they're like hanging out with all the people they graduated with, but they were like, but we were kind of like bored. They felt like they were above it, so they're like, okay, let's go hang out. And then Timberlake
Okay.
and Pete Davidson show up because they're like a little older, like a year or two older, and they think that they're cool.
Yeah.
And that's kind of what the story is, where they're hanging out with these guys thinking like, oh yeah, these guys are this is what cool is.
Post high school.
Because we were in high school, we thought they were cool. Now we get to be like them. And then the movie slowly, it's a comedy. Funny things happen.
Yes.
But they slowly learn like, oh wait, these guys really aren't that cool by the end of it. They're like, oh no, they're kind of like losers and they don't do anything with themselves. And then it's like, that's the moral of it. But like, there's like scenes where like they go to hang out, like everyone else goes to like a concert and they're like, no, we're going to go hang out and like drink beers and like start a fire and they just hang out like at a pit, not like arson. But like, they're just going to like go do that. And then we're going to go to this party and everything. And then all of a sudden, like Timberlake and like Pete Davidson are like branding each other. And then these guys are like, I don't know if we're going to fucking do this. This is fucking crazy. And then they're like, oh, let's go to this other party afterwards. And
they're like, hey man, let's take this keg from one party, put it in the front seat of a fucking car and drive to another party.
Like, it's a bunch of like all this stuff, but as they slowly put it together, they're like, yeah, wait a minute, these guys are fucking bums because they're just hanging around high school parties, fucking shit up, burning each other. Like, this isn't the thing to be.
Burning each other.
Yeah, this isn't the thing to be at all. And then they go, and by the end, it's like sun's coming up. It's the next day, and then they kind of realize to each other, it's like, I mean, the whole movie is just crazy shit happening.
Right.
Right. Think super bad like.
Yes.
But darker.
Yes.
And then at the end, they realize like they go home. The two younger kids go home, just graduated high school, and as they have to walk home from where they're at down the neighborhood, and they realize they're like, yeah, we don't want to be that, but they don't actually say it. The shot is they're walking away from because Timberlake and Pete Davidson still want to party. They want to go, and it's like, dude, it's like 6 a.m. Like I gotta go do a thing to register for college or some responsibility.
Yeah.
And they're like,
don't you guys have jobs? They're like, nah, we're just this is what we do.
And they're like, yeah, we gotta go. And then they're like, come on, come hang out. And they're like, no, we gotta go. And then the shot, it's Fincher-esque shot, just very like wide, straight, like a tracking shot as it follows them. And they're walking away, and then the two, it's a two shots. You got both kids walking away from them in the background, and they just look at each. The sun's coming up, and it's a beautiful shot.
Beautiful shot.
And they're and they just look at each other, and there's like this sigh of relief, and it's almost non-verbally expressing to themselves, yeah,
we made it.
I think that's not that's not the life for me. I think what we got to do is we got to listen to our parents and go to college, because that's the thing. They don't want to go to college. They're like, we don't want to do this. I got to go do this thing, but I don't want to deal with this. I think these guys are living a life. They never went to college. Blah blah blah. And then they walk away like, we should go, because I don't. Even though it's cool, there isn't much of a future there.
And there might be like a third guy, and he's like, hey, number one priority of the summer, Taylor Swift tickets. So they drive off and get tickets to Taylor Swift for $3,000.
Maybe. I don't know if that would really. It would kind of like hijack the moral of the story.
It wouldn't.
They would, because
And then it fades to black, and the credits come, and you hear Taylor Swift.
or
Bam!
this is
Swifty.
This is the way I was thinking it was going to go. This is the other side of it. So this is the story as a whole. These two kids, they think they're above it. They don't want to go to college. And they hang out with the rebellious kids that graduated a couple years before them that didn't go to college. And then the one, like Timberlake, is talking about like his plans. And his plan, he's basically like, yeah, man, I think in a couple weeks I'm just going to go join the circus, and I'm going to travel with the circus, or the fair, or whatever. And I'm going to join
Does he show up with a
carnival.
with a duct tape holster
Yeah.
to a fight?
Yeah, and he's just gonna
Kitchen
go.
knife.
Yeah, dude. There's a whole scene where he does that, and he has like the thing, and then they're like, yeah, man, you guys are just living wild. And then, but over the course of the night, they realize that's not the life for them. And I was like, I don't want to be joining the carnival. I'll just go to school because that's where it's at. Because and I think
Oh yeah, I forgot it takes place in the 90s. Because if it took place now, you like I don't think the college aspect would be like going to school wouldn't be a thing.
Yeah, it would be a 90s thing. So, but yeah, that's like the thing, and like the catalyst to make them change their minds is that they run into some girls that they're interested in, and then they find out like these girls are actually grossed out by, or just like creeped out by Timberlake and Pete Davidson, which, by the way, that's super poetic, because ideally girls love Timberlake and Pete Davidson, but because they're such losers in this movie, they don't want anything to do with them, and then that clicks into these two kids' heads where they're like, oh shit,
so
this isn't the move for us.
Plot twist, right? So I like that idea, but we're gonna flip it. These two guys are into these two girls, right?
Yeah.
But the two girls are into Davidson and Timberlake.
Okay.
But they realize by the end of the night that the girls are pieces of shit too. So they're like, oh, we don't even want them because they're lame.
Well, actually, both could work, because there could be different girls.
Yeah.
There could be like this group of girls, this group of girls. And then they realize that, yeah, like these girls are fucking trash bags, pieces of shit.
Yeah.
And these girls that they actually like want nothing to do with them. And they're like, oh man, this isn't the move. We don't look so cool. They're actually, these people are dragging us down in front of the people that we actually like.
Yeah.
And then that's the end of it. And then they walk away.
And then the Winklevoss twins walk over, steal the girls because they steal ideas. And then they're like, hey, we got this great idea for this thing on the internet, because the internet's new in the 90s. And they're like, let's fucking go. And it's a prequel to The Social Network.
I don't know about that one. That was... I'm not sure about that. That's...
Boom. Book it.
I was just thinking...
And we could have Timberlake come back as Sean Parker in the second one, or the original movie. So he actually is a younger Sean Parker, which it comes out he's younger, but the prequel is like 15 years older than the first one.
None of this makes sense.
But he's playing younger version of himself.
I'm thinking the move is not to have this have anything to do with The Social Network at all.
I
think it doesn't need to connect.
I think this is going to be the prequel. It can be just called, like, instead of The Social Network, it could just be called like The Network, because
it has nothing to do with that. It's a coming of age tale.
I know.
It's a coming of age tale.
It's coming of age prequel.
That's the real.
As
move.
long as the Winklevosses and Timberlake's involved, I'm involved.
The real move is to do a nice classic coming of age tale of these high school kids learning that what it really takes to be cool, and that's the name of the movie. It's
cool.
No, that
what
already
takes
exists.
to be cool.
No.
What it takes to be cool.
No.
You just said that's the name of the movie.
Well, I was gonna say it, and then you just said "Be Cool," which already exists. That's a John Travolta.
I know. That's what I was gonna say. It already exists, but you said that's the name of the movie, and that's what you led up with. Is it takes to be cool, or it takes that to be cool, or some shit like that.
I didn't get to say the thing. So
it takes two.
No. The name of the
To be
movie?
cool?
No.
It Takes Two to be cool.
No, it's not it.
God damn it. That's a great title
It's-
for the movie.
No, better title. One word. Cool.
Stempowski.
That would be one of the kids' names though, because he's so dope. So I mean, like, no, the movie will just be called Cool, and this
With
is,
a K?
Isn't that like a cigarette?
Yeah,
company?
but
no,
hey,
it's
back
just
in the 90s, people smoked.
COOL, and then here's the poster. Okay, this is even the poster. So it's
How
it's
about-
two kids, the two kids, and they're
Mrs. Doubtfire's leg, right?
that's Mrs. Doubtfire too. We already discussed this.
It's just her leg in like a moccasin, and
That's-
with her pantyhose like scrunched down and a hairy leg.
That's Mrs. Doubtfire too. That would do nothing to do with this
Cool.
film.
It's cool. Cool.
No, that's Mrs. Doubtfire 2, Curse of the Candy Caper. That's a different film.
What? The Curse of the what?
Candy Caper. I told you this movie, didn't I?
You never had the subtitle.
Yeah, Mrs. Doubtfire 2, Curse of the Candy Caper. Because she's got to go. Because it's like a Lion Witch in the Wardrobe type thing.
Oh god.
Did I never explain this one?
No.
This one is good. So let me finish this thought, and I'll tell you about Mrs. Doubtfire 2 in just a second. So the poster is the word cool. It's got Pete Davidson and Justin Timberlake, because that's what's going to bring the people
Yeah.
in. You got the two new kids, all and their heads. It's like Pete Davidson, Justin Timberlake. Their heads are big on the poster. Then you have the two younger kids like chilling underneath that, but it's got like one of those like purple blue gradients.
Yeah.
Like that. You ever see the poster for that movie Moonlight? I've never seen the movie, but it's got like,
The gay movie?
I don't know if it's gay. Is
Yeah,
it
it
gay?
is.
It's got
It's
the black
an
dude on it.
yeah, it's an LGBTQ movie.
Okay, but like a similar style of that, cool. David Fincher film, soundtrack by Trent Reznor. Like that would be the best.
But where are the Winklevoss twins?
They're not,
They got to be on the poster. If they're going to be in the movie, they got to be.
they're
on
not
the
in
poster.
the movie.
Yes, they
It's
are.
A different movie. It's a different movie. But let's talk now. Speaking of other movies, Mrs. Doubtfire 2, Curse of the Candy Caper.
Why is it the Curse of the Candy
I'm
Caper?
gonna explain. So, Mrs. Doubtfire 2.
Shit sounds retarded already.
She goes.
Is Pierce Bronson in it?
No.
God damn it!
This
He's
is
the
a
best
different
character.
movie. This is a different movie. Okay, it's a sequel. His kids have grown up. He's still Mrs. Doubtfire, and people hire him to be their nanny. And so
Okay.
he goes, and he's Mrs. Doubtfire to these kids, and these kids are like kind of troublemakers. Okay, there's like these two young kids, boy and a girl, and
They're like the
and-
problem child kids.
Kind of, yeah. They were
Both
doing like
gingers.
pranks and stuff, and Mrs. Doubtfire was like, "Oh, don't be doing that." And
Hello!
but then he plays pranks back. You
Oh.
know, Rob Williams plays pranks back. Like he's able. And I know he's dead, but if he didn't die, this would have been a
A
great movie.
CGI Robin
We
Williams.
could CGI it. So what they end up doing is they end up finding a doorway to like a candy land. Okay, and they go through that because they're like playing pranks and they find it, and then they go through like the door, and then Mrs. Doubtfire.
It's just in their house.
Yeah, it's like in a wardrobe or something. So, so they fall through it, and Mrs. Doubtfire has to go in and save them from like this candy. Well,
Why
there's
do they have to save them? It's not like
Because-
an evil candy layer.
well, I'm gonna explain. So the Candyland would have been fun, but there's an evil sheriff played by the great Oliver Platt, who is taking over the land, and he's like the evil sheriff. Like I forget what his name was, but he's got like, and he's like taking over the thing, and the kids are going, and everyone's all upset, and he's trying to get the kids because they're innocent, they know where the source of candy is. They don't know that they know it, but it's like in their like subconscious, and he's got to go and get it. And so it becomes he kidnaps the kids, and Mrs. Doubtfire has to rescue the kids through like pranks and jokes and things, and she's got to like
this
play.
shit sounds terrible.
And so they end up like going to like, so Mrs. Doubtfire ends up becoming like teaming up with all the Candyland people, which they're people. They're not like pieces of candy. Like they're just people living in Candyland. And
so
ends
they're
up
like Oompa Loompas.
no, they're like regular people.
Okay.
So so then she goes and like gets all them to help could take back the candy land because there's golden candy that the evil sheriff has, and they gotta go. That's why it's a candy caper, and it's cursed because the sheriff has cursed the land because he's ruined it.
How about the Winklevoss twins comes in?
No,
and
this
they
has nothing to
steal
do with it.
They steal the candy.
No, the Winklevoss have nothing to do with
The
this.
Winklevi.
The sheriff takes it because he ends up in the candy land and he's not supposed to be there. So he's like an evil sheriff.
This shit is terrible.
So then Mrs. Doubtfire has to go rescue all the children, and like they go and like make weapons out of candy, and they're like, we're gonna take it, and then there's like a big like.
So they're like sharpening
There's-
candy canes and
yeah,
shit into
yeah,
so
and
you can
it's like,
stab
and
them.
Robin Williams like dressed up as an old lady the whole time. It's super dope. So then
It's
they
not
go,
dope at all.
then they go and they're like, they sharpen up candy canes and shit, and so they're like they go to battle. And they have this big battle, and Mrs. Doubtfire is like, type of thing. And then they go and they clash, and all this candy is everywhere. And then she's got to like rescue the kids. And there's like this whole like standoff between her and like the sheriff, evil sheriff Oliver Platt. And he's like, you're not gonna take the golden candy from me. This candy land is mine. And she's something like, I don't know, that says Mrs. Doubtfire stuff. Like Aerosmith comes on, dude looks like a lady, and they battle it out. It's fucking sweet as hell. So then they go and they have to like,
It's fucking sweet.
but
as hell.
meanwhile, by the way, he kidnapped these kids, but these kids are like wild, rambunctious prankster kids. So he's like miserable with them, but he wants to get the source of the golden candy that's like in their subconscious. And like Mrs. Doubtfire has to save him, and then she ends up winning, and then they escape to Candyland, and I remember like all the candy people are like, oh, thank you. It's like, oh, you got to leave though, and he's like, I gotta leave, and then there's like this one fat guy, and then he's like, you know what? You're in charge. You're the new Doubtfire now, and then fucking leaves him in charge. And so then she goes off.
So
She opens up an umbrella out of her bag and then lifts off into the fucking with the kids out of the wardrobe, and then they save them. And the kids are the best behaved kids ever since. And the parents are like, "You've done such a wonderful job in like a week. How did you do it?" And she's like, "Oh, only if you knew." And that's it. She does a little wink to like the camera, and that's it. That's the movie.
She in the Candyland.
Yeah.
She's like going down the line of kids.
Yeah.
With like a candy cane.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
a really big sharpened one.
Yep,
And
yep.
she's like, pick some fat kid that can roll down a hill.
Yeah. And that's it. That's Curse of the Candy Caper. This is Doubtfire 2.
Take care of the kids that are smaller than you. And then the
Yeah.
smallest kid's like, who do I take care of? And she's like, candy bugs.
Yeah.
Yeah. Little ones.
Yeah. See? It's a great...
Fucking terrible.
That's gonna be... Dude, that movie would have made people cry. It would have been so great. It would have been such an emotional family film. I would love to watch that movie 1,000 times. It'd be the best.
And like, so there's like this old man that used to go to the Candyland, and he's like, I've lost my Butterfinger BBs since they don't make them anymore. And then they find him in a sack, and he like gets happy.
I guess.
How do you not know what I'm talking about? The fucking marbles. And Hook.
Wow. I don't know.
Jesus Christ.
There's too many characters. I can't keep track.
We're just gonna cut that one out. It'd be much better with the Winklevoss.
The Winklevi do not need to be in there. It's too much for them. They're all about Bitcoin now, so
Yeah, I mean,
I
it
can't-
could have been like a Bitcoin vault. And, you open it up and the Winklevi are there, and they like kind of act like robots, but you're not really sure if they're robotic or human.
I don't know. There's too much Winklevoss.
Dude, you can never get enough Winklevoss.
There's
Dude, look what happens when you don't have enough Winklevoss. You turn into Zuckerberg.
You know what it is? Winklevoss is box office failure. That's what that is. I'm not putting them in.
No,
the movie.
man. It's going to be like a cult classic like The Room.
Maybe. I don't know. I'm not willing to take that risk.
I'm going to take that risk. Tommy Wiseau, who? Winklevoss. And we don't even know their first names. Tyler and Kit.
Probably something like
Carl and Frank.
that. Yeah, I think that's probably what it is. Why not? That's okay.
They probably have rhyming names.
Yeah.
Like Tyler and Skylar.
Yeah.
Or like Jen and Ben.
Stan and Dan.
Yeah. Dan Winklevoss. Or who is the Hawkins Chips?
Oh yeah, that's right. I forgot about the Hawkins chips. Those guys are fucking nuts.
They do everything together.
Yeah.
Everything.
Yeah.
Oh, Oh shit. Anyway,
Well, I think we did it all. I think
I think we covered it all.
we left it all on the field.
Were we talking about trying to do like a current event?
What do you mean?
We were talking upstairs about doing like a current event to start us off.
Oh, well, yeah, it's future episodes. This is
We talked about fucking how long have we been going? An hour and
hour,
something,
yeah.
all nonsense.
no, it's good. This is good stuff. Someone in Hollywood's gonna listen to this and be like, "These are good movies."
You know what? I'm gonna make that prequel to Social Network.
Yeah, I'm telling you though, David Fincher needs to make himself a nice teen black comedy. That's what he needs.
I guess. But I guess until next time. I don't know. Are we wrapping it up?
Yeah.
Check us out on social media. Melvin Troy, Bobby Caboose at 64-Bit Legends. Subscribe, listen. Legends Layover. We got a new episode coming up this week too, called the Podcast Privilege. And I think we got more stuff coming for you.
Nice.
We got some shit in the works, right?
Yes.
With a new little format.
Yep.
Hopefully starting soon. But until then, what you gonna do, brother? When the Winklevoss twins take over your ideas and they get rich off of them, and then they row a boat for their fucking country and they piss everyone off, and then Zuckerberg goes alone and makes a Facebook, and then that Indian dude, he gets cut out because Sean Parker shows